All right, guys. We are about to go straight away to the next segment, the segment we've been waiting for. There's been a big scandal hitting the Serie A this week. It's again and again the Calcio Scommesse scandal. So pretty much Fabrizio Corona, which is a very well-known paparazzo in Italy, and he keeps doing his investigation as a journalist. Now the guy find out about all this stuff. In August, one of the players that was involved, Fagioli, got a €600 fine because betting, it's not against the law. Betting on illegal platform, it's a fine. It's like us going on an illegal platform, we get caught, we get a fine. Now, what happened is those paperwork needs to be sent to the sports justice. For the sports justice, in any discipline, correct me if I'm wrong, you're not allowed to bet in your discipline. And most important, you're not allowed to bet on black market. If you bet on your own discipline, your own team, in your own sports, you open up questions. How did you know? What happened if you start betting on your own games? Did you try to alterate to win your bet? You get 2 to 3 years...
3 years minimum.
Minimum suspension, okay? If you were betting on your own discipline, okay? If you are aware of, and you are a member of the club, from the coach, magazziniere, the guy that makes the coffee, to the president, vice president, anyone, assistant coach. If you know about any of the team players, they're betting, you do not report it, you get 6 months suspension. If you are the club and you do not report it, you get relegated by 1 league. Those are the rules. They're not open for interpretation. So far, the player, they come out, have been Fagioli for Juventus, Tonali not for Milan,
Newcastle.
For Newcastle. Then there'll be Zalewski for AS Roma. And the fourth one, correct? Zaniolo, which a former AS Roma player, okay? Yeah. As you can see on the screen, we got the graphic of one of the posts from Corona. So pretty much, those are the 4 players, and Corona said he's going to come up with more names after the England games. All right, open table, guys. I think I touched everything. If I miss anything on the storyline, head up. We started with you, Alessandro. You've been very quiet.
There's a lot to unpack there, to be honest. Look, I don't really agree with how it's being handled, to be honest. I think it could have been done in a better way. I think this is a lot for Corona's gain as well, his personal gain.
Oh, that's of course. That's his lifestyle. That's how he lives.
Yeah, and I don't like this, tomorrow there'll be revealed the next 3 players. And it's all
social
this
media, 2024.
I hate it. I hate it. It's, this is a serious issue. This is not a joke. This is not a game show. This is not a reality show. This is a full-on issue. It's much deeper.
Hey, this is Big Brother, Tonali. You've been evacuated by
That's what it's like. That's what it's like. It's not a game. At the end of the day, these are people's lives he's playing with, yeah? Like, it's not a game. He's going to ruin their career.
It's another shocking scandal, and it's funny. Once again, a scandal breaks, a year before an international tournament. It's incredible that these things happen. Usually the Italians win a trophy. That's the incredible thing about it. So for the most superstitious ones, it is a good omen. But bring it back specifically to this whole news story. What Fabrizio Corona has done, it's definitely what some people will classify as gutter journalism. It's a lot of sensationalist stuff, a lot of this, these tactics to really belittle the players, if you like. But at the same time, though, so far we've had Fagioli and Tonali admit to the gambling problems, so they might have the sentences halved. They're trying to negotiate.
Which is half, so if it's 3 years, it's 1 year and a half.
Yeah, so 18 months, give or take. Zaniolo so far has just claimed that he's just been playing poker legally. Back to Corona specifically, he's got a website called Dillinger News, so it's a lot of this sort of sensationalist stuff, breaking out negative stories and all that. So he's clearly shown that he's a bit classless, but at the same time, this is nonetheless a very bad story for Italian football, bad for the image of the sport, and it's a bad reflection of the players too. Yeah.
When was the last betting scandal? 2011?
More the lower divisions.
Anyway, he plays for Südtirol now. So what I'm saying is...
Masiello, yes. He was a body. He scored an own goal.
Yeah. So it will affect your career. You end up playing a lower division and,
missing 18 months of football is a long time.
Yeah, definitely.
For me, you want to fix football? Start with 2 things. Eliminate free negotiation. Every manager can only take X%, not from a transfer, but from a salary. Because right now, every manager prefer to have one transfer a year for his player, 'cause that's where they make the money. So, block that nonsense.
The late Mino Raiola, he was one of the worst at this, especially that move from Juve to Manchester United in 2016.
Yeah. So stop doing that kind of block them. Get rid of the player from the manager. Manager should be controlled. And when you start controlling the manager, you start having less pressure on clubs to sign renewal, less pressure on fans to have to spend more money because club needs to make more money to buy more people because these people want more money. You know, football is becoming a sport for rich.
Yeah, I agree. It's a very, I don't know, it's a big grey area for me. I've had my fair share as well with agents, and it's just who's not the criminal, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I will say one thing. In terms of the other side of a footballer. These players have copped a lot of stick on social media. You know, like you said, you know, you've got everything. You got the fame, you got the money, you got the cars, you got this, that, and the other. At the end of the day, like, they're humans. If you haven't been to somewhat of a decent level in football, you won't understand because of the sacrifice and everything else that happens behind it. So yes, they live the life. It's the best life in the world. But they are humans. They make mistakes. These things happen. So you can't just smash them, I think.
No, hold on. No, I disagree. You know why? Because you pay the price for what you are and what you want to show people you are. Because if I work at Crown Casino, I'm not allowed to bet.
Mm-hmm.
If I go inside and bet, I get the sack.
Yeah. Well, that's not what I'm saying.
Hold on. If I work in a factory, I'm not allowed to smoke while I'm working. I need to wait for my break and have a cigarette at the back. Otherwise, I get a sack. You're a football player. You can do anything you want in life. There is one single rule you need to respect. Do not bet illegally and do not bet on your own sports. They could have bet on a horse, dogs, basketball, Formula 1, tennis. They could have bet on anything. They decided to go on the black market and they were betting on their own games.
I understand. I'm not saying.
So to me, they have to cop it because I'm
100%. I agree.
You leave my team down now.
100%. I agree with that.
Juventus is to go on the market now because they lost two midfielder because one took drugs and the other one was doing illegal betting.
But just a little side note on what Alessandro was saying. I think that's one of the things about social media. You know, until the turn of last century, the stars of that era weren't as involved as they were, I should say, exposed to the fans like they were. So I think this time with social media, the fans have a greater platform to go on social media and criticise the players there. Because in the past, it wasn't like you could stalk them in front of their house and try to shadow over the front fence or something.
But on the other end on the other flick of the coin, they didn't have social media. But they didn't have the income that social media gave to them. So it's once again, the platform where you're getting abused now by your fan is the same platform that when you do good things and you got 2 or 3 million followers, you generate income from. So you have to take the good and the bad. You can't say, social media great because I take a picture with a deodorant and because I'm X player and I got 1 million followers, I get paid by the deodorant company. But then if I do something stupid, I don't want to pay the consequence on the same platform. No. You're winning, you're losing. Otherwise, you don't go on social media. Sorry, I'm really drastic on this. I'm more about order and discipline. Anyway, we know it's not over. And I think, personally, this is only the tip of the iceberg. And I'm very pessimist about when I mean pessimist, I can see this become like 1980.
Yeah. I'm scared, to be honest.
If we're going to go to extremes, I think it's a matter of, unfortunately, it won't happen with Shefflin and Gravini involved, but if there were other people, I think it needs like a big UEFA ban because that's what happened with England. 85 European Cup final, Juventus versus Liverpool, both fans were fighting. 39 fans died, mostly Juventus fans, and because England had a big hooligan problem, English clubs were banned from Europe for 5 years. Liverpool, 6 years. But also with the Hillsborough disaster in '89, then came the Taylor Report. They had to clean up the stadiums. So those stadiums became modernised. They were in great nick for Euro 96. And eventually with the Premier League overtaking the First Division, got revamped. And now it's the most powerful league in the world. I really don't want a big disaster to happen in Serie A, but sometimes it takes extreme measures to cause a real shake-up.
Too much to talk about, not enough time to sleep, following up all this news. So, Alessandro?
If you do want to watch the Serie A and Serie B, make sure you jump on Globo TV. Get the package with beIN Sports. We say the same thing every week. You know what to do. Go and do it.
Please do subscribe. Tell your friends and family as well. Spread the word because we'll do everything we can to create top quality content and bring you the best about Italian football.
And updated Zio Amo on tonali career, all right?
Yes.
So guys, Zio Amo, Alessandro and Vito. Oh, I spanked the microphone. Zio Amo, Alessandro and Vito. This is Calcio Talk from Globo TV. Thank you very much. See you next week.
Ciao, ciao.
Buonanotte.